All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Jeremy, and this is our weekly live stream. Hopefully, people will start trickling in a little bit. I'm going to move to my show notes and we can talk through some of this stuff while people are trickling in, and I'll keep checking chat to see when people are here before moving to the meat of the show for today. So currently in Michigan, it is 51 degrees Fahrenheit. I know, quite the heat wave. So I was actually up early this morning, even with the time change. That I still think daylight savings time and switching back and forth is kind of pointless, but it's my opinion and may not be a popular one for some people, but hey, it's all good. But anyways, I got up this morning. I was up early enough to make a pot of coffee. I got my YouTube statistics recorded, which is part of my Sunday morning ritual every week for more than 2 years now. I believe I've been collecting statistics almost every Sunday. That's something that's going to change slightly in 2022. I do want to dig out some Python code that I had copied and cobbled together and modified from other resources that will allow me to grab many of the YouTube statistics with a script and then be able to bring that into LibreOffice Calc and do whatever manipulations on them that I would like. But it will increase the accuracy since I won't be entering everything by hand. And it will also speed up the process quite a good deal. So even if I still end up having to do manual modifications in LibreOffice Calc, I am still going to be saving time on how I do all of that. Now, the other piece of this is that I may very well change up, what statistics I collect as well. And the frequency. So if I can get this script to work and just stick it in a cron job, I can have it pull every week, and then I can choose whether I want to compile everything every week or whether I want to do that one Sunday a month and make a go of it that way. Still nobody trickling in yet, and we've been live for almost 4 minutes. I'm going to check my phone and see if we are in fact broadcasting, because I have nobody here to verify with me. Let's see. Okay, and I got an email that I was hoping I would get. That's awesome. So I want to get to my channel here. And see. Oh, there's David. Okay. How is my audio, David? Is it coming through all right? And welcome, by the way. I shouldn't forget that. Hopefully things are going well for you. You haven't missed really anything because I kind of messed up. I ran the countdown timer and my little intro video, and I hadn't pressed the live button yet. So, yeah. Okay, good. Thank you for the confirmation on the sound. Okay, so this week, I guess I can start off with a few news items that I found interesting. Um, uh, I won't go through all of these, but some of these are rather interesting. The Free Software Foundation is celebrating some new copyright exemptions, but has renewed the call for repealing all DRM laws, digital rights management, which I I usually go along with what the Free Software Foundation says. They really seem to be holding the public's interest in mind more than most for-profit entities do, let's say. Let's see. The ARM CEO says the industry is spending $2 billion a week to address the chip crisis. Hopefully they don't get themselves in trouble later on with all the spending that's going on now. But with General Motors and Ford both having to store a bunch of vehicles that are waiting on chips, maybe it's a good thing that this money is being spent. Let's see. A report from the FBI, Homeland Security, and National Counterterrorism Center claims that a drone was used to attack the U.S. electrical system in 2020. Not really surprising, I suppose, but hey, it's all good. The site lxer.com has some interesting articles. They've got one on the 10 best Linux-based Linux distros. LXQT or LXQt, however you want to say that, 1.0.0 has been released. This is a lightweight desktop, Linux desktop. There's a dedicated tool for Linux to create a bootable USB stick for a Windows install. As an alternative, you can also use Ventoy to accomplish the same task. And let's see. That about covers the interesting news from the last week or two. Oh, I'm glad the lighting looks good too. I've got my ring light above me dialed in, and then I've got it on a Wise smart outlet, so I can leave the light level the same and just turn it on and off with my phone. So that's rather handy. And then I've got a smaller light on my left side, and then there's a window behind me, which is what has a little craziness on the wall there. Still not quite satisfied with my background yet, but people have seemed to like it more than the green screen, so I'm going to go with it for a while and see how this turns out. So, and just a note out there for anybody else that's watching and is not in chat, please come on in and join the fun, and hopefully we'll all learn something a little interesting today by the time things are over, and we can go from there. Let me jump back to my notes. Okay, so before I get into the meat of the live stream today. I've got some poll results. So this first one is I asked for viewers to rate their comfort level with Linux, and I gave several options. And the results that came back, and this is based on 32 people that voted in this, complete noob got 0%. So everybody considers themselves beyond that level. The second category was beyond noob, but still a beginner, and that was 44%. Intermediate and advanced are tied at 25%, and then elite is 6%. And I threw that in there, not knowing what would happen with the poll. And I found that kind of interesting. I'm not sure my videos really target that audience, but I guess since it's only 6% and they're watching the videos, I still welcome them with open arms, or as close as we can get during the current plague. So I did a follow-up poll, and I asked which beginner level topics would you like to see between now and the end of 2021? This was based on 24 voters, and the results came back thusly. Linux on the desktop, 17%. Linux server, which I did specify in my voting or in my poll, that this is Linux with no desktop GUI. That's not to say it couldn't have a web-based interface, but no desktop GUI. So Linux server was 13%. Linux VM appliances, this was 21%. And examples of those would be Bitnami, OS boxes, etc. Ready to run Linux virtual appliances. You import them into your hypervisor software, whether that be Proxmox or XCPNG or VMware Workstation or Workstation Player or Parallels or what have you. So again, that was 21%. Network attached storage, 45%. And then I had an option, which I'm going to stop putting these in because people don't follow instructions. Something else, and I specifically asked to leave comments. This was 4%. And of course, there were 0 comments left. So take that for what you will. All right, so let's see what we've got in the comment section currently. And all right, nothing really going on in the comments at the moment. Hey, welcome, Quick Tech Solutions, Tony. Glad to have you here. You haven't missed much yet. I've just talked through some poll results from my community tab page, and we are about ready to jump into my first segment. And then while that's going, we might bounce to the second segment and then circle back. So that's kind of my plan for today. So let's see. So I'm going to bring this up on screen, and I think I'll just take myself off for the moment. So I discovered Voyager Linux. This is based on Debian 11. And I thought I would start an install here, and then we can, once we answer the initial questions, we can bounce on to the what I consider to be my main topic for the day, which is the OpenMediaVault with Windows. But we will just hit the graphical Debian installer. And get this kicked off. And so again, if since I didn't really go over the specs for this VM earlier, this is a Proxmox VM, as you can probably tell by the Proxmox logo up in the corner. 8 gigs of RAM, 2 processor cores, and a 50 gigabyte virtual hard drive. And we'll continue through this. And so Voyager has several different flavors available. This particular one is running GNOME or GNOME. I think the people behind the project actually want you to pronounce it with the G, the hard G, GNOME. And it's based on Debian 11, which is the newest version of Debian, and it sounded like it would be a nice alternative to some of the Ubuntu based systems. So we will put this through its paces. Ask for a root password. And my user. Okay. And Eastern time zone. And we can keep this moving. So give this a minute to make sure it doesn't ask me any more questions, and then we'll move on to the other side. Okay, so we're going to use guided entire disk. That's fine. And that's fine. And just because it's a VM and I'm probably going to destroy it after this is over, I'm just going to leave it all in one partition. And that's all good. So, all right. So that should pretty much go from there. So I'm going to take that off screen. Hey, look at that. I'm back. All right. Okay. So let me change something around here. And then I will share my screen with a different. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we'll try that. There we go. Okay, so on my Windows 11 machine, and we will, if I can remember my key combinations, we'll go to desktop 2 because hey, I'm a multi-desktop junkie. And for what it's worth, hey, look at that, I'm back. So I've got the latest version of OpenMediaVault running on VirtualBox on Windows 11. Let's see, we can get rid of some of that. And there is my VM itself running in the background here. And we're on 74.223 for the IP address. So we'll jump back to the main desktop. And so a couple things I want to do here. I've got, oops, can't type. I've got Ubuntu running on, it actually reports Windows 10. This is actually Windows 11. Ubuntu running on Windows Subsystem for Linux, version 2. And so the first thing I want to do is make sure we can reach that OpenMediaVault server, which that's already been tested ahead of time. Okay, so one of the things that, there's my cursor. One of the things that I have wanted to do for a while is to get rsync, which is a Linux tool that's been available since 1996. And it comes from Andrew Tridgell. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And he's one of the main guys behind the Samba project, which gives us Windows style file sharing on Linux. And he built rsync originally during his research for his PhD thesis. And the description says that rsync is similar in similar in operation to rdist, which originated on BSD. Of course, you know, there's a man page if you want to see the different options and some examples for rsync. There's also a great website which I refer to quite extensively, ss64.com, and you can drill down into Linux and then you type in rsync. They'll throw you out on my doggone key combinations. This will throw you out on Google, and then you can go to the web version of the man page, which often is easier to search. And if you come down under the usage section, you will see some examples. Now, one thing I want to point out that is a peculiarity of Windows Subsystem for Linux. I am currently in the Linux side of things, so /home/Leik1JD. If we what is it? When you normally come into Windows Subsystem for Linux, it has you on the Windows side of things. So /mount/c/users. Oh, excuse me. Um, and then your username. And so you can see a normal Windows file structure here. So the reason I bring this up is that if you're going to write a script to go from Windows to OpenMediaVault, you will likely want to back up both the Windows subsystem for Linux side as well as the Windows side. And so I have adapted a script that I have used here. So I can actually get rid of a couple of additional things. And so what I've got here is a couple of commands that will back up. The first line here will back up documents on the Linux side to a folder called Documents on OpenMediaVault. And then the second line will do the documents on the Windows side to the OpenMediaVault. And so the options specified: A is archive mode, and Z is to compress data during transmission. And then the double dash progress will show a progress indicator in the terminal as the script is running. Now, I will say right up front, this script is not done. There will be more that I will be adding to it, but this is enough for demo purposes. And so if I do /bin11 to OMV, currently I do not have SSH keys from my Windows box set up with OpenMediaVault, so I do have to enter a password. And as you can see, nothing has changed. So we go into documents, and if we just do touch S7, and do the same thing in test 8. And then we do script again. It will, in fact, copy the 2 additional files. Okay, so again, the beauty of this when it's completed is that I can have my SSH keys set up, so I don't have to enter a password to start the transfer. The other part of it is that once I have that piece in place, I can enter this into the cron tab file, and schedule it to run in the background without any interaction. Now, one other piece of the pie here. If we go under our network, here's my OpenMediaVault 6 on the B-Link box. And we've got a shared folder. And I've got a home folder. And then we do have, in fact, documents with those test files in it. And Windocs, which has the contents of my documents folders from the Windows side in it. Now, one of the reasons that I like this solution is that given the way Windows tends to be prone to ransomware, using a solution like this, you don't have to leave a drive letter mapped to OpenMediaVault, which means if this machine was hit with ransomware, that since it's not connected all the time to the OpenMediaVault storage area, your backup files will not then be encrypted by the ransomware. So that's something to think about, something that has made me continue to consider this option. And I also happen to use rsync.net as one of my main backup resources. So I've got my main machines backing up online to rsync.net. And when I originally got that, my goal was to find a backup solution that I could run on whatever platform I was using for a given project. And rsync fits the bill. It'll run on Windows with Windows Subsystem for Linux. And there is a Windows native client, graphical client, available from the rsync.net people. It'll run on Linux, of course, BSD, Mac OS, pretty much anything under the sun that has an rsync port. You can set up a similar solution. So let me check chat here. Welcome, Brian. Glad to have you here. Windows 10 has a drive mapping bug. Every time I reboot, I have to delete my drive maps and remap them, or they are not accessible. This is on multiple machines. Brian, are you running Windows 10 Home or Pro? I'm just curious. And maybe we can help narrow down some things. I've never really been a fan of the network drive mapping on Windows, but that's just because I'm more of a Unixy type person. Unix makes more sense in my head than Windows ever really has. Okay, so this is on Windows 10 Pro, and a friend has the same issue. So this is actually Windows 11. Let me turn on my Windows 10 box over here on my left side. And that's an older machine, so we'll have to give that a minute or two to boot up. But we can certainly take a look. Since I don't use Windows as my primary platform, I have not really run into these problems, or this particular problem anyways. But I have no doubts that it exists. So we'll wait for that machine to finish booting up. And we'll get connected to it. Any other questions or comments in the chat anybody might have? I'm going to jump back over here to my install of Voyager. And we'll try to finish out some of these questions. Get the network mirror set up. I thought maybe I was a little premature jumping away from this install process, but it's all good. We've got at least another hour left. For anybody that hasn't been to one of my live streams, I normally go until between 12:30 and 1 p.m. Eastern for the live streams, and I want to try to be done by 12:45 today because my father is coming over and we're going to work on some lawn winterization here at my location. And he's involved because he owns the building and has some of the tools that I need to help maintain this property. So yeah. Okay. So let's see here. I want to do something here just for reference. Okay. So it has been a while since I've done drive mapping on a Windows box. But the way I learned it originally, we'll open up my PowerShell. Let's see. Oh, come on. Thank you. Okay. We'll go right to the Microsoft documentation with examples. And my feeling is when in doubt, break out the command line. So, okay. So we want net use, and we'll just call it F. 172.16.74.223/ and I need to figure out what I called my, I think it was called share one. System error 67. Network name cannot be found. Let me take a look here real quick. Okay, so we want to look at shares. That's bugger. Shared one with a D. And completed successfully. So now if we go to F, we've got that mapped. So that, however, does not by default show it in Explorer. Right, so that would get around it for anything from the command line, but not not for the GUI. That's problematic, of course, but let's see. Again, it's been a while since I've done map network drives. Okay, so map network drive. And so we'll put Z at 216.74223/shared/ do not want to connect that at sign in. Might have to do that. So Windows cannot access that. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I have not done this for a while on Windows. So, David, if you are still watching, do you have any insights on the drive mapping issue? Let's see. Okay, so net delete. Oh, let's see. I am a little rusty on this part. Windows can delete drive mapping inline. Net use drive letter / delete. Okay, well, I wasn't too far off, I guess. Net use F : / delete. Deleted successfully. And then if I come back to File Explorer, Computer, Map Network Drive, and we'll do 2, 3. Shared. And don't connect. And that still doesn't like it. Yeah, that's interesting. Welcome back, David. We're trying to play with the drive mapping in Windows. This is my Windows 10 box, as you could probably tell from the screenshot. But have you noticed a bug in mapping drive letters from the GUI? I was able to successfully map the drive letter from the command line, and that works fine in the command line, but it doesn't show up in Windows Explorer. So I'm just curious because this is not something I do on a regular basis, but it does appear that there is an issue. Now I'm curious if we go over to Windows 11, if the same thing persists. Let's just do a new desktop and close that out. Okay, so what is this under options? Used to be able to just do v6 link / share one / home folder. And if we wanted to map the drive, we could right click, and it doesn't seem like there's an option. There have to be options somewhere to map this. So okay, so if we drill down, say we want to map my home folder here. Properties, previous versions. No, that's not what I want. They've changed around the file explorer in Windows 11, and I don't see the options that we used to have. So let's see. Do hidden files. Let's do always show menus. That might help the cause right there. Apply. Let's see. Let's reopen Windows Explorer. And still, okay, this PC Let's see. When I open this PC, I simply go to the map network drive icon, and it works as long as I have the permissions to that drive. Well, I know I've got the permissions to the drive. So where is refresh my memory if you would, David, is the this PC that's just a shortcut to File Explorer, isn't it? Or am I missing something obvious since I don't tend to use some of these features on Windows on a regular basis? Okay, so this PC here. I am probably missing something very simple here. Oh, there we go. Map network drive. So we will call that Z, reconnect, finish. That. Okay, that's currently mapped using a different username and password. Okay. Finish. Well, where did oh, goody, I've got that problem again. So OpenMediaVault 6 is still in beta. And one of the issues I've had with it is that something with the cookies causes it to not allow me to view certain areas of the interface with Firefox. So I've not had this problem in Chrome yet. And then when I get rid of the cookies, it takes all the we'll just do that and call it good. And it still doesn't want to do that. Okay. No harm, no foul. We'll just move to Chrome. So that's why you always have multiple browsers installed. Okay, so just for grins, that is my username. And I know what the password is, because generally in these labs, I use the same password for everything. That does not seem to, let's turn that off. Okay, so it's the same password I used on this machine, so that did map drive Z, and I can access that information there. So in Windows 11 it works. Let's see. We'll jump back to the Windows 10 box and see if we can recreate that. Okay. Well, that's currently not even showing the OpenMediaVault. Is it going to catch up with itself? Let it rescan and see where we go. Okay, I have no problem mapping the drive, but rebooting is where the issue comes in. Okay. In the past, I had problems with the level of SMB enabled in my Buffalo NAS, and those Buffaloes are kind of on the old side because I've still got one around myself. So I originally solved it by enabling SMB 1.0. Yeah, that's cringeworthy security. I certainly agree with that one, David. Later fixed by Buffalo firmware fix. Yeah, so like I said, I don't generally map drives, and when I do not set them to reconnect on login. I just That's one of my peeves about Windows in general is having drives connected all the time. My personal opinion is that it's just a bad practice in general. Your mileage may vary and your opinion may vary, and that's fine. But my brain works in a more Unix type way, and if I can do something and not have drives mapped all the time, then I prefer to avoid it. But yes, there is a box that says reconnect at login, I believe is the full option. So, but let's jump back and see where we're at with our Voyager install and get the bootloader moving, and we should be pretty close to restarting this and seeing what we can do with it. I'm going to take myself off camera momentarily here. And get myself a little drink. Oh, and think I'm starting to smell my chili. And it smells good. I was being rather productive before the live stream this morning, and I got my hamburger cooked up with my onions and got it all in the crock pot. And about 6 o'clock tonight, I will have chili that's been simmering for about 8 hours. So we'll see how that works out. But I think this is the first time I've really made chili myself. So it's just something that's been sounding good to me lately with the weather turning colder, and we'll see. Yeah. Single user on your own network, have no issue with the 24/7 mappings. Yeah, go for it then. Just check that reconnect at login box. So from the Windows 11, it was actually showing that. I think if we do properties here, thought you could change that after the fact. Maybe you can't. Customize. Yeah, maybe I'd have to remap that. And check the box. But yeah, I don't generally do that with my Windows machines. So I mean, I could grab something else. Let's see. So, for instance, if I wanted to map music on one of my Synology boxes, show more options, map network drive, and yes, it'd just be reconnect at sign in. So if we say finish, that's drive Y, and we can sign out. And we'll do sign out anyways because none of that really matters. Log in. And then we'll see what we've got. I probably shouldn't have done that. I wonder. That probably killed the VM. That's all right because the drive we mapped, Y drive, would not have been dependent on that VM. But that's interesting. That is interesting. So that problem exists in Windows 11 as well. because the Linux icon down here, that's for Windows subsystem for Linux. And so that's actually running on this Windows machine. Is not showing the OpenMediaVault server because when I logged out, that killed the server because it's running on this same machine. But let's go to Zero Cool. And see what it brings up for me. Okay. Okay, so let's say download this empty music. Okay, so music would be a good one to map. More options. Map network drive. We'll call this. Now, see, that's interesting here because it still shows that Y is mapped to acid burn music. We'll map M to Zero Cool music. And that again, reconnect at sign in is selected. And I could play Blue Oyster Cult, but actually my files are gone from that folder. That's one of the issues with moving stuff around. Sometimes it doesn't all copy. So I'm going to have to re-rip some of these CDs. Interesting. Anyways, so that we had reconnected sign in selected. We'll test this one more time. Sign out. Log in. That's not what I wanted to have happen. There we go. Let me quit this other application over here. Okay, so see if we got anything. No, it does not appear. Let's try through terminal. Cannot find path M because it does not exist. And yet netuse is showing it as disconnected. The drive mappings are still there, in fact, but the connection status is disconnected. Interesting. I don't have an answer to this right at the moment, I'm afraid. I will, however, I've got one OpenMediaVault video that's for OpenMediaVault 6 that's almost ready. Will probably be out on Tuesday. But my goal with this new set of videos is to put OpenMediaVault through its paces and to also tested against some of the other NAS boxing, I guess you could say, that I have on my network. I've got 2 Synologies, a QNAP, and a Buffalo still on my network. Plus, I've got OpenMediaVault 5 as well. Yeah, storage is kind of a thing in my world. But yeah, thank you for bringing that to my attention, Brian. I will definitely continue testing for this. And if I come up with an explanation for the problem or a solution to the problem, I will definitely include that in an upcoming video. And David, if you should happen to come across a solution, I would be greatly appreciative if you would share that. I know you use Windows on a more regular basis than I do, so I am not above asking for help on something that is not my area of expertise. So, yeah. Let's see. I have 1,200 CDs I need to rip to FLAC. Well, I will keep working on it, Brian. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention, annoying you for a few years now. Okay. I will soon be using FreeBSD to map drives on the Buffalo and Windows. Interesting. Well, I'll be interested to continue banging on this problem a little bit and see where we can get with it. I would, off the top of my head, Brian, I would suggest maybe looking on Spiceworks. Is it Spiceworks? Spice. I'm having a middle-age moment. Spiceworks.com. Usually the people there are really helpful. The other one that I don't use quite as much anymore is Ars Technica. You might also consider the forums for OpenMediaVault if that's what you're using, and maybe somebody there has a potential solution that could help, or a workaround, or something, maybe just some additional insight as to why it's happening. But I just find it odd that on the Windows 11 machine it showed the mappings as still there, but the status was disconnected. So that's a bit of an annoyance for sure. Because I'm not sure. So Zero Cool Music. And it's wonder if you have to remember the credentials. No, that's not it. It's very odd. Okay, that's really weird. Now the status is okay from the command line. Huh. Excuse me. I'm not sure why none of these are showing any content. Well, actually, I think I know because I've been moving some stuff around on my NAS drives and to an external hard drive so I could reorganize some things. And I think some of the directories were left behind and the files moved to another location. There we go. Sure, I've got. Do I not have VLC player? I'll fix that. Oh, yes. Right. Gotta run from an elevated prompt for chocolatey. I'll make sure that I've got sound turned off. I don't think I've got that turned on. But if it does start playing, I will stop it very quickly and hopefully avoid any sort of copyright. Let's see, open with. Yeah, I don't have that mapped for sound because it's remote, and that's fine. But my cover art did come through on that. I've got part of my collection ripped to FLAC. Another part of my collection I've still got to rip to FLAC. Yeah. Anyways, happens on my older Ready NAS boxes as well. Okay, so that could be an SMB, a Samba version issue. Might have to change the settings for that. I guess that's kind of a cool layout. And open the browser in the center. Another trick that Windows has lifted from other operating systems. Anyways, I tend to welcome some of these changes because it makes working with Windows a little more palatable to me. If I can get this to update. It is still working. So maybe we'll see the end of the Okay. That's all good. It should have auto ejected the. Oh, maybe it didn't use auto eject that. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we've got here. Does appear to be booting. So let's jump this full screen. Activated 1.0 in Windows and it didn't help. That's odd. I will keep working on this and put out some feelers with a few other people. I've got a friend that I've been trying to reach to get together for lunch anyways, and he may have some insight on this too. All right, so this is my first time looking at Voyager Linux built on Debian 11. ETA on OpenMediaVault 6. Right now, that's anybody's guess. Originally, it was targeted for fourth quarter of 2021. But I have not seen a solid update on that. So right now, I'd say your guess is as good as mine. Well, this looks pretty clean. Next, skip, start using. Okay, so let's see what the super key is mapped to. I'll close that. Is it not mapped? Doesn't appear to be mapped. So the menu system is very reminiscent of mobile, where you've got the application groups represented like this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Box Voyager. Wonder what that is. Interesting. Dark mode. Cool. Okay. Go away. Thank you. So yeah, this is pretty much just a standard GNOME shell type of thing. And other locations. Let's do, so my junk box Acer running OpenMediaVault 5. I've actually got that booting off a thumb drive. I got an adapter for the internal USB header and gives you two USB drives inside the case instead of running a cable to the front panel. And the thing boots. It's not the fastest booting machine I've got on my network, but it boots. So yeah, I'm interested to play around with this a little bit. Get the settings application open. So yeah, 8 gigs of RAM minus 200 megabytes for graphics, LVM processor, 53.7 gig virtual hard drive. This is not too bad, I have to say. Usually straight Debian distros are a little vanilla. So this is a nice addition. Okay, so I did that on an ITX music server I built. Had to run Clover in order to boot off the PCI Express NVMe adapter. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I'd known about this approach for a while, and I had an extra box laying around, and I didn't have extra storage disks. So at the time that I put this together, so I, for the $3 it cost me on Amazon, I got a package of the USB header adapters and had some decent quality USB sticks and decided, well, let's just boot off from that and use the spinning hard drive in this particular box for the actual storage disk. And this isn't a box that I would use for anything other than demonstration purposes. But it's keeping the box out of the landfill. So I guess okay, so we got a little bit of lag on this, which I'm not terribly surprised. So this is that Acer box that it's just an old Celeron. It's a POS is what it is. But it runs. It's got a little bit of storage. It is sort of a playground for testing things out, and a staging box for running updates before I run them to any more important machines or VMs. That. There we go. Some of these I've reset the administrator password on. Some of them I haven't. So always try the default password first, and then I can at least know which other password I need to look at. So, all right. Any other questions, problems, suggestions? We are at about 12:29, so I'll go for maybe another 10 minutes or so. I do need to go stir the chili and get ready for my father to arrive over here for the day. Hopefully get some fall pruning done and leaf blowing and bagging and whatnot, just so the place looks decent for the winter as we get closer to having that white stuff fall from the sky. So, but yeah, I will say I'm pretty happy. This live stream came together nicely, and I covered, I think, everything I wanted to cover today, which is great. And I'm hoping to have the first of the new series of OpenMediaVault videos out. It may actually come out tomorrow, depending on how much editing I get done today. Because I think I've got a Windows video already recorded for Wednesday. So if I get the OpenMediaVault video done this afternoon, then that will come out tomorrow. Have a Windows video on Wednesday. May have something on Friday, but then we'll have another live stream next week on Sunday. And again, I will be doing these every Sunday now through approximately Memorial Day, at which time we will adjust the schedule so I'm not locked into every weekend of the whole summer. So that is one thing I want to get away from, and whether I do every other week or the first and fourth, or what I do for live streams during the summer in 22, I'm not entirely sure yet. It's also going to depend on if I end up moving, which is something that is currently being looked at, because if I end up moving, then the live streams might be an issue depending on what kind of internet access I have where I relocate to. If I am stuck using a DSL connection or a MiFi from Verizon or something of that nature, then I probably won't be doing as many live streams. I can keep doing the recorded videos under those circumstances because I have other avenues to upload. But I would not be able to do live streams quite as easily in that circumstance. So, my live streams may go away for part of the summer next year completely. I am not entirely sure yet. I should have more details in the next couple of months. So that is something that's kind of up for discussion at the moment, and I am hoping that I will be able to continue doing live streams as planned, but I may have to make some adjustments to how and where I do the live streams. That's my caveat, I suppose. So we will see what happens on that. But if there are no further questions or comments in the chat, and it doesn't look like there are at the moment, then I will go ahead and wrap this up. So I just want to say thank you to all of you out there, whether you're watching this live or watching this after the fact. Thank you for your support of the channel. As we go into the holidays, it's always a time when people try to thank others a little bit more. And I hope I've been doing a good job throughout the year thanking people for coming into the live streams. But if I haven't, then I'm going to try to play catch up between now and the end of the year. So again, thank you all for coming in and watching the recorded videos as well. There are links in the description of the video for different ways that you can support the channel. I am hoping to purchase in 2022 a better camera. I'm currently using a webcam for the videos, which does all right because I am limited with StreamYard to 720p streaming anyways. So these webcams that can do 1080 are usable. I would, however, like to get to a point where I can upgrade to potentially a Sony ZV-E10, I believe is the one I was looking at. It's a Sony mirrorless camera that has interchangeable lenses. So it has the benefit of being able to grow with the channel as I do more things, especially the pre-recorded stuff. I would be able to potentially move into recording in 4K. So that's kind of where I want to go with this. In some of my other videos, I've published links for Amazon affiliate links, and that does give me a little bit of money. I still am waiting on my first payout from Amazon. I'm getting people following my links, but it's just kind of slow going, which is okay. I'm looking at being at around 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and hopefully 22 will be a better year for growth and for video production and whatnot. But you know, it's funny. During this year, I couldn't help but be drawn to one of the songs from the Who's Tommy rock opera, where it talks about 21 is going to be a good year. I don't think they had a pandemic in mind when they wrote that song, but hey, it's all good. Okay, so we got a few more comments in the chat. Just got one of those ZVE10s. Started playing with it yesterday. I'm a little jealous now, David. I'll be putting a video out on it soon, and I was going to show it tonight on my live stream. Okay, I'm definitely going to be at your live stream tonight. Feel free to drop in the comments the details for your live stream. That's 7:30 start, is it? Or is it 8:30 start? But I am definitely planning on being there tonight, especially if you're going to have new camera equipment. So on that note, you all know what to do with the like button. Every little bit helps the channel, and this crazy YouTube algorithm that we're all working with or against or around. Not sure which at the moment. I guess flip a coin, and it's about as good as I can tell you. But yeah, as long as these live streams continue to be fun and, you know, maybe we all learn something from them, I'm going to try to keep doing them. And when things change next year, if my living situation changes, then I will update all of you accordingly, and we can brainstorm on a solution to whatever problems I may encounter from the new location. Okay, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Brian, if you're still available, I highly recommend checking out David's live stream tonight at 8:30. So that will be a good time. And I know I normally end up learning a little something, at least from David's live streams. So hopefully it's a good turnout tonight. But on that note, thanks once again for being here. David, do you have a link to your live stream already, or do you want just a link to your channel? There's let's see. There we go. I think I've got the link here already. Hopefully that goes through, because it probably doesn't let you guys put links in the chat. So this is for the streaming server upgrade. No, I suppose it helps if I put that back on screen. Okay, so I think I've got the correct link in there. And I am going to be proactive about this, and I will give it a like already. So how's that? Okay. On that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Everybody have a good afternoon. Stay safe out there. And hopefully I'll see everybody in David's live stream tonight. And for anybody that I don't, I will see you next week in my live stream. Same time, same place. Have a good week, everybody.